I'll never forget the day I decided to take a stand against a system that seemed designed to frustrate and intimidate me. It was the day I received yet another bill from the medical center where I had undergone a routine checkup a few months prior. The bill was for a staggering amount, and as I scanned the items listed, my eyes widened in shock and anger. They were charging me for procedures I had never undergone, for consultations with specialists I had never met, and for medications I had never taken. At first, I tried to navigate the system the way I was supposed to. I called the medical center's billing department, waited on hold for what felt like an eternity, and explained my situation to the representative, who finally answered. She apologized, took my information, and promised to look into the matter. But as the weeks turned into months, and the bills continued to arrive, I realized that I was getting nowhere. Every call was met with the same script, the same promises, and the same lack of action. I was starting to feel like I was trapped in some kind of bureaucratic nightmare. The bills kept piling up, and the amounts were staggering. I was being charged for services I had never received, and the total was now well over $10,000. I was starting to feel like I was drowning in debt, and my credit score was taking a hit. I knew I had to do something, but I didn't know what. That was when I decided to take a different approach. I remembered a story my friend, a chef at a local restaurant, had told me about a customer who had tried to scam them by claiming to have found a hair in his food. The customer had been acting suspiciously from the moment he walked in, glancing around nervously and asking weird questions about the refund policy. When he finally made his move, claiming to have found a hair in his lobster ravioli, my friend had seen right through him. The customer had been trying to create a scene, to get a free meal, and maybe even a little extra cash on the side. But my friend had been one step ahead. He had examined the hair, compared it to the customer's own hair, and then revealed his own bald head, leaving the customer stunned and embarrassed. I realized that I needed to take a similar approach with the medical center. I needed to be bold, to be creative, and to be willing to take a stand. So, I did something that might seem crazy. I went to my bank and withdrew the entire amount of the bill in cash. It took the teller 20 minutes to count out the money, and when she finally handed it to me, I stuffed it into a large duffel bag. The next morning, I called the medical center and told them I was coming to pay my bill in full. I arrived at the billing counter, bag in hand, and announced loudly that I was there to pay my bill. The receptionist looked up, startled, and asked for my account number. I handed her the stack of bills I had been carrying with me for months and told her that before we started, I needed her to walk me through each charge and show me exactly when I had received the services. She hesitated, clearly unsure of what to do, and that was when I knew I had her. I was no longer just a pushover, a patient who would take whatever the medical center dished out. I was a force to be reckoned with, and I was determined to get to the bottom of this mess. As we went through the bills, item by item, it became clear that the medical center had made a series of errors. They had charged me for procedures that had never been performed, for consultations that had never taken place, and for medications that had never been prescribed. The receptionist apologized, her face growing redder by the minute, and promised to correct the mistakes. But I wasn't satisfied with just an apology. I wanted to know why this had happened, and I wanted to know what the medical center was going to do to prevent it from happening again. The receptionist called her supervisor, and eventually, the hospital administrator came down to speak with me. He listened to my story, his face growing grimmer by the minute, and then he apologized. He explained that the medical center had been experiencing some technical difficulties, and that a series of errors had led to my being overcharged. He promised to correct the mistakes, to refund my money, and to take steps to prevent this from happening again in the future. As I left the medical center that day, I felt a sense of satisfaction and relief. I had taken a stand, and I had won.